Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me good, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V series videos I've been doing for a while. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, and folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This is an interesting one coming up, but, we'll see how it goes. But we'll get to that. Folks, super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm inside the truck. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That's not the case with this particular item. I actually got this one, I'm going to go ahead and say about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. Something like that. I went out to go visit a friend. We weren't actually able to meet up as it turned out, but, since I was kind of out and about anyway, I was like, fuck it, So I went over there and I stopped off at this one gas station. It's run by these very nice Indian people. And they had this cool little, basically import section for snacks and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, this is what I do. So, folks, what am I going to review for you? What did I get from that particular store that day so many weeks ago? Well, folks, it's Lay's, but it's not just any Lay's. Look at it, it's all fancy. It is Lay's hot and sour lemon braised chicken feet flavor. As you do. I'm guessing this is from China. It does not say so. I mean, it probably does, but it is in some language that I am super duper. Does it have a thing anywhere? Product of China. Yes, it is from China. I figured it was probably from China because when I think chicken feet, I think China. It's not to say that they're the only place who does it, but that's definitely the place where I've experienced it. Because, folks, I actually have had chicken feet. There's this one particular Chinese buffet that they tend to cater more to an actual Chinese audience. They have all your normal stuff too, but then they also have a handful of less usual items. And I'm me, so I saw chicken feet and I was like, fuck it, I'll give chicken feet a shot. Wasn't huge on it, if I'm not, if I'm being honest, but maybe, just maybe, in potato chip form. Let's get a thing for the, can we get a thing for the thing? Ha 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 ha! Sure, why not? Let's give it a go. And I've reviewed wacky flavored Lay's stuff plenty of times. Go look through my videos. I always like trying out international style chips. Now, one thing I'm going to mention, because I always like to mention it when I do American chips, and it's fair that I do it with Chinese chips. Here's the bag. Boy, that's super fragrant. Here's the bag. You can see the bag. It's about the size of my head. I got a big head. If I go over there and take the bag and bring it down, that is how many chips I'm actually getting. It's about half the size of my head now. It's a little sad, even with a big head. But, again, that's not a Chinese thing. That's just a fucking international chip thing. So, we're going to start out with one chip, and then we'll go from there. That's a lot of flavor. They ain't kidding with the lemon. That is some serious lemonness. Well, I'll say this right off the bat. These are some very flavorful chips. Even one. Ooh, it's even got a little bit of a heat to it. Just kind of at the very back end of the throat. Okay. Yeah, even just one chip, man, that is some fragrant ass stuff. Okay. Let's try more of a reasonable handful. That one actually had less flavor than the one by itself. Flavor is definitely not distributed evenly. Okay. That one's got a bunch of flavor again. I will say this, you're not tasting potato. Potato aspect is not a factor. I mean, okay. So, it says hot and sour lemon braised chicken feet. Alright. Is there a little bit of a heat to it? Sure. Not much, but it's there a little bit. I'm willing to give it to it. Is there a sour aspect to it? Yes. Kind of ties in with the lemon. You know, it's got a little bit of that kind of citrusy aspect to it. The lemon is definitely a big part of this. Like, the lemon flavor is really prominent. And it's interesting, I don't think I've ever had a lemon in a potato chip. Now, the chicken feet flavor, that's the thing. Because, in my experience with chicken feet is more of a texture thing than a particular flavor thing. Because ultimately, it's just whatever you are cooking it in. That's the flavor it's going to take on for the most part. And then there's like maybe a little bit of a mild chicken flavor to it. But it's mostly just whatever the flavor is. So, I think the chicken feet aspect of the title is more to entice people into being like, ooh, that sounds interesting and maybe a little weird, versus it being a particularly prominent aspect of the flavor. I think all the other flavors are there, for sure. But would I say that it is particularly chicken feety? Well, no. Because again, mostly the chicken feet aspect is really a texture thing. Is there maybe a little chicken flavor? Maybe. I'd be willing to say that there's a little bit of a savoriness underneath all the other stuff. So, I mean, sure. I think that it works in... Again, I think it works kind of in the way of, it's like, yeah, the flavors are there. The chicken feet aspect, I feel, is a little bit more just kind of a gimmick. But, sure, why not? Real question is, how do I like it as a chip? The answer is, quite a bit. I like these a lot. They would not be my go-to chips, I don't think. Because when I'm going in for chips, I'm typically going for something salty, you know. These, with how lemony they are and everything, yeah, they do have a saltiness for sure. But, like, they're so pungent with the lemon aspect that these kind of almost fill a different snack roll for me. So they wouldn't be my go-to chips, but I could definitely see these being something where every so often I would really want some of these. Because they do fill such a unique niche. You know, I've never had like a lemony chip. That's just cool. I like that. And in terms of everything else, it's like, yeah, I feel like it does fulfill the flavor quota of what it's trying to, you know, to go off with. I appreciate a little bit of a heat. I could have done with more, but I understand, you know, trying to balance it. The sour aspect of it, I like. Again, I feel like it just sort of goes with the lemon. I personally like them. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get them again? Would I recommend them? Yes, and yeah, kind of. I think for me personally, like I said, they fill a very specific niche, but it's a niche I didn't even know I needed. And now that I do know, well, I would like that niche to be filled every now and again. Only thing is, of course, these are an import item, so yeah, that's a little bit of a thing. Unless I go to that specific gas station, I don't really go that way all that often. But, you know, I'm sure I could get them online if I really had a hardcore hankering for them. But I do like them. They're very tasty, and they're just so unique that it's like, yeah, man. Sometimes unique doesn't work all that well. It doesn't blend properly. And lemon potato chips sounds like it should not work, but it does. The way they put it together, I think it does. And I appreciate that it's full force with it. It's not, they didn't do half measures on it. So I like that. Now, if I'm recommending it to other people, it would not be for everybody. I could see people not being down. Because sometimes, when you go over there and take unique flavor combinations, you're gonna cut out certain people. There's no two ways about it. Some people just aren't gonna be willing to go on that particular journey. Some people are, but it's just gonna weird them out. So obviously, it's not gonna be for everybody. But I would say that these are something absolutely worth trying if you can run into them. Should you go over there and order them online for, $800 billion worth of import fees? No. But if you have like an import store or something, you can find them. I definitely think they're worth trying. Do I think that these would have a market here in the United States? Like, let's say you got rid of the chicken feet branding, right? Let's say you called it something else. And you're just working off of the flavor itself. Do I think that it would work here in America? No. It's a little bit too weird. But I could see it having a fan base. I could see there being a hardcore fan base for this. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Spectacular rest of the week. Monumental rest of the month. Stupendous rest of your folks. Go over there. Have yourselves a truly Chinese buffet-tastic rest of your life. Ooh. I want to get out to that Chinese buffet again, man. There's one that's by me that I hit up every now and again, and they're okay. But they're very okay. I appreciate that they're close. The people are nice, who run it and everything. But there's nothing there that, makes it stand out. It's just very, it's decent. Every now and again, you want some Chinese food that's not particularly that great, that you can also get some macaroni and some pizza and some sushi and stuff, and you're just like, I want to pay $13 for all of this. And it works. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. It's a bitch and a half, man. Sometimes life can really just kick you in the ass, and it just keeps kicking you. And, when you run into those situations, folks, and you're frustrated and you're stressed out, it can be extremely difficult, but we have to try. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you're going to try out some lemon chicken feet Lay's what the hell ever chips that I've tried here today. And maybe like me, you're going to be down with them. Maybe you're going to be like, these are pretty cool. So then you go over there and let's say maybe you know a few people who work in Lay's. And you go over there and, you just, maybe flip them like, $20, $50, something like that. Just be like, hey, whisper in somebody's ear. So whisper down the line till it gets to the head CEO of the Lay's Corporation. I'm guessing his name is like Jeff Lay's. And he's over there and he's just like, yeah, I guess, whatever, fuck it. I make $800 million a second. What do I give a shit? I'm giant CEO, man. Sure, let's put out lemon chicken what the fuck ever potato chips in America. So then they come out, and maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they go over there and they just spark a fire amongst the country. Now they're like the country's favorite potato chips. But the only problem is that now there's a shortage. It goes over there, it escalates the current conflicts that we're having between China and the United States. And it's like, it looks like it's going to come to war and everything. But then there's like just 2 children, one from America and one from China, just in the middle of all this conflict, just enjoying a bag of lemon chicken feet what the fuck ever Lay's chips. It melts our hearts, and we decide we're going to go over there, we're going to work together for the betterment, not only of mankind, but for lemon chicken feet flavored potato chips. I think that's what we're going to do. Or conversely, you can just import the damn things if you really, really want to try them. Bye!